The twilight of Jacob's life descended upon the land of Egypt. Reports reached Joseph, the favored son, that his aged father, the patriarch of their burgeoning family, was gravely ill. The weight of years and the burdens of a tumultuous life had taken their toll. Upon hearing this somber news, Joseph acted swiftly. He gathered his 2 sons, Manasseh, the elder, and Ephraim, the younger, and journeyed to his father's bedside. It was a moment of profound significance, a final gathering of generations. Despite his extreme weakness and the dimming of his earthly vision, a remarkable transformation occurred in Jacob. The mere presence of Joseph, whom he had mourned as lost for so many years, seemed to rekindle a spark of his former strength. He rallied, summoning a surprising vigor. A deep wellspring of emotion surged within the old patriarch. He expressed his profound joy at seeing Joseph once more, a joy that transcended the pain of his failing body. This reunion was a testament to enduring love and divine providence. With renewed spirit, Jacob began to speak, his voice carrying the weight of history and covenant. He recounted the sacred promise God had made to him at Luz, a place in the land of Canaan, which he had named Bethel, the house of God. This divine encounter had shaped his destiny. The promise delivered at Bethel was multifaceted and glorious. It assured Jacob of extraordinary fertility, declaring that he would become the father of a multitude of nations. His descendants would be as numerous as the dust of the earth. Furthermore, the divine decree included the solemn pledge of the land of Canaan. This cherished territory was promised to Jacob and his offspring as an everlasting possession. It was to be their permanent inheritance, a land flowing with milk and honey. Then, in a declaration of immense consequence, Jacob formally adopted Ephraim and Manasseh as his own sons. He proclaimed them to be as much his as Reuben and Simeon, his firstborn sons. This act was not merely symbolic, but carried profound legal and spiritual weight. By this adoption, Ephraim and Manasseh were elevated to a status equal to Jacob's direct sons. They were no longer merely grandsons, but were now considered founders of their own tribes within Israel. This decision would forever alter the tribal landscape. This elevation ensured their full inheritance and a distinct place within the future 12 tribes of Israel. Each would receive a tribal portion, just as Reuben and Simeon would. Their lineage was now directly linked to the patriarch himself. Jacob then offered a poignant explanation for this extraordinary decision, referencing the enduring sorrow of Rachel's death. Rachel, Joseph's beloved mother, had tragically passed away during their journey from Paddan Aram near Ephrath, which is Bethlehem. Her memory remained a tender wound. He spoke of her loss with deep emotion, recalling the pain of burying her on the way. This personal tragedy, he implied, underscored his desire to honor Joseph and his lineage in a unique way. It was a tribute to a love that transcended death. As the moment for the blessing approached, Jacob's failing eyesight became evident. He peered dimly at the figures beside Joseph and inquired, "Who are these?" His vision, once keen, could no longer discern the faces of his grandsons. Joseph gently identified them, stating they were his sons, whom God had graciously given him in Egypt. He acknowledged the divine hand in their lives, recognizing them as a blessing from the Almighty. Hearing this, Jacob expressed his desire to bless them. Despite his physical limitations, his spiritual discernment remained sharp. He felt the urgency of imparting a patriarchal blessing before his departure. Joseph then guided his sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, closer to their grandfather. He positioned them carefully, ensuring they were within Jacob's reach, ready to receive the sacred touch. With a surge of affection, Jacob reached out. He kissed the boys and embraced them, a tender gesture of love and acceptance. The patriarch's heart was full, overflowing with tenderness for his grandsons. Then came the pivotal moment of the blessing. Jacob, with deliberate intention, crossed his hands. This unusual gesture signaled a departure from conventional practice, hinting at a deeper, divinely inspired purpose. He placed his right hand, the hand of primary blessing and authority, upon the head of Ephraim, the younger son. This action was contrary to the established custom of blessing the firstborn with the right hand. Simultaneously, he placed his left hand upon the head of Manasseh, the elder. This positioning, though still a blessing, indicated a secondary status compared to the right hand's placement. The order of birth was being subverted. Joseph, observing his father's actions, was troubled. He believed Jacob had made a mistake, intending to place the right hand on Manasseh, the firstborn. He reached out, attempting to guide Jacob's hands to what he perceived as the correct position. He respectfully tried to correct his father, explaining that Manasseh was the elder. Joseph felt it was his duty to ensure the traditional order of blessing was maintained, honoring the birthright. However, Jacob firmly insisted on his chosen blessing. He refused to alter the placement of his hands, indicating that his actions were not accidental but intentional. A divine impulse guided his decision. Jacob then explained his reasoning, revealing a prophetic insight. He acknowledged that Manasseh would indeed become a great people, a mighty nation. Yet, he declared that Ephraim, the younger, would surpass him in greatness, becoming a multitude of nations. Jacob then pronounced the blessing, invoking the mighty God of his fathers, Abraham and Isaac. He called upon the divine covenant, linking his grandsons to the sacred promises made to their ancestors. He prayed for their prosperity, for their growth, and for the continuation of his lineage through them. He asked that the angel who had redeemed him from all evil would bless the lads, protecting and guiding them. He declared that the people of Israel would use their names, Ephraim and Manasseh, in future blessings. Their names would become synonymous with fruitfulness and multiplication, a testament to their enduring legacy. As his life drew to a close, Jacob offered Joseph words of comfort and assurance. He promised that God would be with him, guiding and protecting him even after Jacob's own passing. This was a profound source of strength. He then spoke of a future return to the land of his fathers, Canaan. This promise, though not for Joseph in his lifetime, affirmed the ultimate destiny of their people. It reinforced the covenantal promise of the land. In a final act of significant favor, Jacob bestowed upon Joseph a special portion of land, the territory of Shechem. This was a unique inheritance, distinct from what his other brothers would receive. This gift of Shechem underscored Joseph's elevated status among his brothers. It was a recognition of his faithfulness, his suffering, and his role in preserving their family during the famine. It set him apart. The entire passage, from Jacob's failing health to his final blessings, highlights profound themes. It speaks of the enduring bonds of family, the sacred nature of inheritance, and the power of divine blessing. It powerfully illustrates the continuation of God's covenant, demonstrating how his promises unfold across generations. The narrative reveals God's sovereign hand, often working in ways that defy human expectation and tradition.